Louisiana is a land where the veil between the living and the dead seems to be thinner than anywhere else. Here, the air is heavy with humidity and the secrets that have remained hidden in the swamps for centuries. It is not just a state. It is a labyrinth of ancient bayous, colonial mansions, and voodoo rituals that are still practiced under the light of the full moon. From brutal crimes that were never solved to curses that erased entire towns from the map. Get ready for a journey into the heart of the Deep South, where every shadow in the swamp has a terrifying story to tell and where the past refuses to be buried. Welcome to the land of the unexplained. These are the 10 most shocking and darkest mysteries of Louisiana. Prepare yourself, because once you enter these woods, the truth might be more disturbing than the legends you have heard before. In 1980, Lake Peigneur transformed from a quiet freshwater lake into a giant, terrifying whirlpool in just a matter of minutes due to an unprecedented human miscalculation. During a routine oil drilling operation, a small 3-centimeter drill bit accidentally punctured the ceiling of a massive underground salt mine that extended beneath the lake bed. What followed was a truly apocalyptic event. The entire lake began to be sucked into the depths of the earth, creating a vortex so powerful that it swallowed entire oil platforms, 11 barges, docks, and acres of surrounding forest. The canal that connected the lake to the sea reversed its flow direction, creating the highest waterfall in Louisiana history as the ocean rushed in to fill the massive void left by the disappearing freshwater. It is a mystery of engineering and geology that seems taken straight out of a natural horror movie, where the ground simply decided to devour everything on the surface. Although miraculously no one died in the disaster, the landscape was changed forever, becoming an eternal reminder of the fragility of our world and the hidden dangers that lurk beneath the surface when modern technology fails in such a catastrophic way. The lake is now a saltwater body, a silent witness to the day the earth opened up. Jean Lafitte was a pirate, a war hero, and a smuggler who operated along the coasts of Louisiana in the early 19th century, a man whose true loyalty was always a profound enigma. It is said that he accumulated an immense fortune that he strategically hid in the labyrinthine and dangerous swamps of the southern bayou. Unlike other pirates of the era, Lafitte knew every secret corner of Louisiana's complex waterways, which made it virtually impossible for the authorities to ever capture him or find his hidden vaults. Legend has it that he buried tons of gold, silver, and precious jewelry under the ancient cypress trees. But after his mysterious disappearance from historical records, he never returned to claim them. Many desperate treasure hunters have permanently vanished while trying to find his trail, swallowed by treacherous quicksand, or lost forever in the dense and deceptive fog of the deep marshes. The mystery of his treasure remains very much alive today, attracting curious individuals who believe that the mud still guards the secret of the most famous pirate of the Deep South. It is a story of ambition, betrayal, and danger that defines the untamable essence of the Louisiana coast, where pirate gold seems to be protected by a supernatural force that prevents it from being discovered by modern hands seeking easy wealth. In 1912, the quiet and religious community of Louisiana was shaken by a crime so brutal that it still generates chills among modern investigators. An entire family was murdered inside their own home while they slept peacefully, without anyone in the surrounding area hearing a single cry for help. The killer used a heavy axe to end the lives of the parents and their young children, leaving the crime scene wrapped in a deathly silence and an atmosphere of absolute terror. What was most disturbing for the police of that era is that there were no signs of robbery or a clear motive that justified such a level of extreme and senseless violence. The killer simply vanished into the darkness of the night, leaving behind a trail of blood that local authorities were never able to follow successfully. The case remains officially unsolved more than a century later, and many locals firmly believe that the spirit of the family still inhabits the property, seeking the justice that never arrived. It is a true crime mystery that proves that sometimes the most dangerous monsters are those who walk among us undetected, hidden behind a mask of normalcy, until they decide to attack in the deepest darkness of the woods. To this day, the house stands as a grim monument to a night of unexplained and horrific slaughter. In the most remote depths of the Louisiana bayous, Cajun elders still tell fearful stories about the Rougarou, a terrifying creature with the body of a man and the head of a hungry wolf. According to the ancient legend, the Rougarou tirelessly stalks those who break the sacred rules of the community or travelers who get lost in the swamp after sunset. It is said to be a dark curse transmitted through blood, turning the victim into a monster thirsty for human flesh for 101 days. Many locals report having seen glowing red eyes shining intensely between the trees, or having heard bone-chilling howls that do not belong to any animal known to science. It is not just a simple story to scare children. It is a mystery that is a deep part of the cultural and spiritual identity of Louisiana. Belief in the Rougarou is so strong that even today, many residents avoid going deep into the swamp alone during full moon nights for fear of coming face to face with this legendary beast that seems to protect the most ancient secrets of the water. The creature represents the ancestral fear of the wilderness and what happens when a person loses their humanity in the untamed nature of the South. Whether a myth or a physical reality, the Rougarou remains the most feared predator of the deep Louisiana marshes. Marie Laveau is recognized worldwide as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans, a woman whose mystical power and political influence defied all the social laws of her time. Although she was a real person, her life is surrounded by dense myths and unexplained events that turned her into an immortal legend. It was said in the back alleys that she could be in two places at once and that her secret rituals could cure terminal illnesses or curse her enemies forever with just a single glance. Even after her official death, the mystery surrounding her continues to grow. Her tomb in the St. Louis Cemetery is one of the most visited places in the world, where people still leave small X marks and offerings, hoping that Marie will grant them a favor from the beyond. The legacy of her magic remains very much alive in the cobblestone streets of the French Quarter, reminding us that in Louisiana, religion, history, and the supernatural always walk hand in hand. It is an enigma of faith and power that defines the mystical atmosphere of the city, where the figure of Marie Laveau is still respected and feared alike by those who know the true weight of her name. Her story is the heart of the spiritual culture of New Orleans, a secret that time has been unable to erase from the collective memory of the South. New Orleans has a historical and highly mysterious connection with the myth of vampires that goes much further than simple literary fiction. Since the 18th century, there have been haunting stories about people who brought ancient evils in their suitcases from the ports of Europe toward the colonies. The legend of the French Quarter vampires suggests that there is a secret subculture that lives in the shadows, feeding on the vibrant and dark energy of the city. One of the most famous and documented cases is that of the Jacques brothers, who supposedly never aged and disappeared mysteriously after being accused of strange crimes in their mansion. The mystery is fueled by the Gothic architecture, the above-ground cemeteries, and the eternal nights of the city, where the impossible seems to become real under the light of the street lamps. Many tourists and locals claim to have had terrifying encounters with pale and elegant figures that disappear without a trace in the darkest alleys. It is an enigma that combines the real history of immigration with Gothic horror, making New Orleans the world capital of the occult, where the line between myth and reality is almost non-existent. Whether fact or folklore, the presence of these nocturnal entities remains a persistent part of the city's fascinating and dark identity. The Myrtles Plantation is frequently cited in the media as the most haunted house in the entire United States. Its history is marked by family tragedies, accidental poisonings, and premature deaths that have left an indelible spiritual mark on the property. The most famous ghost is that of Chloe, an enslaved woman who supposedly poisoned the family with a cake and whose figure has been captured in famous photographs throughout the years. Guests who dare to spend the night report seeing children's handprints appearing on the antique mirrors and hearing heavy footsteps in the empty hallways during the early hours of the morning. The mystery of Myrtles lies in the enormous amount of unexplained phenomena that occur under its roof, challenging any skeptical investigator who tries to find a logical solution. It is a place where the past seems to be trapped in an eternal loop of pain, forcing the living to coexist daily with the shadows of those who died in a tragic way. The atmosphere of the plantation is dense and loaded with an ancient sadness that can still be felt in the air of every room, reminding us that some houses never forget what happened inside their walls. If you are enjoying these mysteries from Louisiana, do not forget to subscribe and like the video right now. Your support helps me a lot to keep investigating and bringing these shocking stories to you. Between 1918 and 1919, a serial killer known as the Axeman of New Orleans spread absolute terror through the streets of the city. His attacks were incredibly brutal and occurred in the darkness of the night, entering houses to end the lives of his victims while they slept without any chance of defense. The mystery reached its peak when the killer sent a defiant letter to local newspapers claiming to be a demon from hell itself. In the letter, he promised that he would not attack any house where jazz music was playing on that specific night. As a result, the entire city was filled with music in a desperate and collective attempt to survive the presence of the monster. The killer was never captured by the authorities, and his real identity remains one of the largest and most frustrating enigmas in American criminal history. It is a case that combines pure terror with the vibrant culture of New Orleans, leaving a disturbing question that still has no answer. Who was the man who really forced an entire city to play music to save their lives? The shadow of the Axeman remains a dark and fascinating chapter that defines the thin line between music and death in the South. To this day, the legend of the jazz-loving killer continues to haunt the imaginations of those who walk the city's historic streets. The LaLaurie Mansion is the setting for one of the darkest, cruelest, and most disturbing stories in all of Louisiana. Delphine LaLaurie was a high society woman who hid a horrifying secret in the attic of her luxurious home in the French Quarter. After an accidental fire in 1834, firefighters discovered a hidden torture chamber where Delphine performed inhuman experiments on enslaved people. The details of what was found were so atrocious that an enraged crowd tried to lynch her, but she miraculously managed to escape to Europe. The mystery lies in the absolute evil that inhabited those walls and in the intense paranormal phenomena that are continually reported today by neighbors and visitors alike. It is said that the victim's screams still echo in the empty building and that mutilated figures are seen looking out of the windows during stormy nights. It is a place cursed by the extreme suffering that occurred there, becoming a symbol of both human and spiritual horror. The mansion still stands as a somber reminder that true darkness can easily hide behind a facade of elegance, wealth, and social prestige in old New Orleans. It remains the most infamous building in the city, attracting those who are brave enough to face the heavy energy left by its tragic and bloody past. The Manchac swamp is known worldwide as the most cursed place in Louisiana due to the terrifying story of Julia Brown, a voodoo queen who lived there at the beginning of the 20th century. Before she died, Julia repeatedly cursed the entire region, saying that when she left this world, she would take all the inhabitants with her. On the exact day of her funeral in 1915, a devastating and unexpected hurricane struck the swamp, killing hundreds of people and erasing entire towns from the map in just a few hours. It is said that many of the bodies were never recovered from the deep mud, and that their spirits still wander restlessly among the moss-covered cypress trees. Witnesses report seeing strange lights over the water and hearing the chilling laughter of Julia Brown echoing through the thick nocturnal fog. The mystery of the swamp combines the power of voodoo with the relentless force of nature, creating an atmosphere of constant terror that attracts investigators from all over the world. It is the perfect closing for our list, a place where one woman's curse changed the fate of a region forever, leaving a permanent trail of death, legends, and mystery that time has been unable to quiet. The dark waters of Manchac remain a silent witness to the night when the prophecy became a horrific reality for everyone involved. Louisiana is a place where the past never truly dies, but instead lurks in every corner of its lowlands. From the ancient curses in the swamps to the bloody secrets in the mansions of the French Quarter, this state reminds us that there are things science still cannot explain. If you dared to make it to the end of this dark journey, thank you for joining me today. Tell me in the comments, which of these mysteries did you find to be the most terrifying of all? Would you ever dare to go to the Manchac swamp during the night? Do not forget to subscribe for more documentaries about the darkest enigmas of our world. And remember, in the deep south, mystery is always watching from the shadows. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video as we continue to explore the unknown together.